Hey everybody, this is Brendan Mahan from ADHD Essentials. What's up, Brendan?
Not a whole lot. How you doing, Seth?
I'm great, and welcome to TEFOS, the
Awesome.
Executive Function Summit.com. Where are we? There we are. And that's ADHD Essentials. This is Brendan's site. Brendan, I want to start off and I want to ask you, oh, there's my chair. I want to ask you for parents who are brand new to the concept of executive function, and you meet a parent, they're like, what the heck is this executive function thing I keep hearing about? How might you explain it to somebody who's brand new to the idea?
Executive function is doing the thing. Like it's point of performance. It's being able to execute sort of along the lines of executive function, right? Execute on whatever it is that needs to be done.
So what's the problem? You specifically focus on ADHD, ADHD
Yep.
essentials, and you work with all these families. And what's the problem?
With executive function, you
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
for the kids? So it's two, there's sort of it's multi-layered. One piece is when you have ADHD, the executive function part of the brains, which is primarily the prefrontal cortex, just does not develop as quickly as your peers. So executive functions develop up into our 20s. The ADHD brain lags behind developmentally their peers. So a kid who is 14 is performing closer to like a 12-year-old than a 14-year-old. And that causes all kinds of challenges in school and at home, and expectations are not appropriate, right? Another layer to this is most parents don't understand executive function, and even school staff don't always understand executive function. So often expectations are too high anyway, just for even neurotypical kids. And this is especially true in school, like sort of systemically. There's a lot of things that we teach in school way too early, getting better, but we're not there yet. And because of that, we also have executive function challenges because it's just what we're asking our kids to do is not appropriate. And so we have to figure out how to scaffold them and build up skills around what they need to do.
And let's see, where was I going from there? I was just listening to you talking. After in this year in TIFOS, what are we going to learn about?
Yeah, on my end, we're going to talk about how to let your kid have ownership of their story. One of the challenges I'm finding with parents is that they kind of make their kid's story their story. And as a result, they're more emotional and anxious about what their kid is or is not doing, and they can help too much and be too invested in what's going on, as opposed to having that 10,000-foot view that we often need as parents to more effectively guide our kids. So we're going to talk about how to put some of that down and let our kids' story be their story rather than ours.
And then a little bit about you. You have ADHDessentials.com, and then this is your
Yep.
podcast. And you have a book coming out with The Wall of Awful. Many of you actually probably have heard about The Wall of Awful. And you wear a lot of hats in this world, in this ADHD parenting world. When you meet a family, a parent, and they say to you, "Well, I don't get it, Brendan. What's your job?" How do you respond to that question?
um, yeah, so I work with I work with adults one-on-one. Every now and then I work with a kid. But that timing is a little tricky because I have identical twin sons who are in high school and they still need a little bit of dad every now and then in the afternoons, which is when I would work with someone else's kids. So I have a limited number of slots for that. I also work with parents. I run online parent coaching groups. The next batch will happen in September, where we meet for 8 weeks, and it's kind of this soup to nuts parenting program about self-care and communication and connection and parenting as leadership and managing anxiety and all these kinds of things. And then I also have the podcast that I host where I interview ADHD experts and the mental health experts, the occasional parent educational experts. Every now and then I get a New York Times bestselling author or something in there. And now I'm writing a book. So I'm trying to add author to my list of things that I do. And I'm also on the board for the Men's ADHD Support Group. I am on the organizing committee for the International Conference on ADHD, and I am also on the board of directors for an event called CalmerCon, which is a sensory sensitive pop culture and comic book convention out in Massachusetts. That's pretty awesome that a buddy of mine put together.
Right
Yeah.
on. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Brendan, for being here. And if you have not registered for TIFOS yet, go to executivefunctionsummit.com. You can register right here. If you like what we're doing, parents, please share that link. That's the best way people learn about us. You can check out, we have an all access pass as well. And yada, yada. Thanks again, Brendan, for being here. Thanks, parents, for being
Yeah.
here.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, everybody.